Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Trevor Ohlsen Show, episode number 55, episode number 55, Saturday, April 24th, 2021. I am your tank top host for the evening, for the afternoon, for the day. Trevor Ohlsen, how are you? I've got my sparkling water, Pesque watermelon, naturally essenced. Never had it, Pesque, a Pesque watermelon, sparkling water. Just got back from the gym, did a little class. It was a good time. 10 o'clock class, about 6 people. They worked hard. It was fun. It was good. It was a good time. I got sucked into a black hole yesterday, and it was not sexual. And really, what it was I got, so here's what happened. Shit. Hold on. First off, I did some taxes yesterday. It was very fun and exciting. I went through TurboTax, today's video sponsor. TurboTax. No, not today's video sponsor. Maybe someday if you keep working hard, Trevor. Did it through TurboTax. My father reminded me, hey, shithead, get your taxes done. And I thought, well, I don't want to be shithead, so I suppose I'll do them. No, he didn't say that. I did the taxes, and yeah, got it taken care of. He goes through somebody else. I went through who he goes through last year, and then this year, I was like, I don't want to do that. Nothing against the person personally. It was just a lot of back and forth of like 40 different emails, and it was my first time I had filed taxes as a self-employed person, and so there was like, you have to keep track of everything yourself for the most part, unless you have somebody doing that for you, which I don't. So I did it all myself, and there was just so much back and forth, like, go fuck yourself, and she was like, fuck you, and no, there was none of that. But I just didn't really want to have to deal with that again, and so I got all my information logged, all taken care of, and I just went through TurboTax. So hopefully it worked. As far as I'm aware, I did it all correctly, and it's all taken care of. So don't forget, tax day's coming up. Get your hard-earned money back for your Pesque watermelon, sparkling water. I was out to dinner last night at Ranville, and for my future brother-in-law's mother's birthday, and did he propose? No. And we were at Ranville, and my dad, again, he ordered, he just wanted some water, and so he grabbed just a Propel, but I don't know how he didn't understand that. He knows what Propel is. He's had him a million times in the past. But he just wanted water, and it was a cucumber flavored Propel, and he lost his mind. He was like, what sort of abhorrent, miserable person would create such a disgusting concoction of liquid? And he just was just like, this tastes, he was just not having it. It was so funny. Just the way he was saying, and he's like, cucumber anything is fucking terrible. It was very funny. And then my mom doesn't like this stuff. And so I'm drinking it all. All the shit they don't like, I'm just drinking it, which works for me. So I got the taxes done. And then once I was finished with that, I wasted some time on YouTube. But a couple different subjects that I got kind of sucked into. One is aliens. 2 is AI, artificial intelligence, otherwise known as anal invitations. Let's start with the aliens. The aliens supposedly like, anal invitations with the probing, from what I hear. This is just anecdotal. I don't have the evidence, nor do I have any other empirical data to suggest that aliens are anally probing human beings. However, these little guys right here, for whatever reason, they like your butt. So, the Pentagon recently released information they released video footage of UFOs, now for whatever reason being called unidentified aerial phenomenon, UAPs, Pentagon News Aliens. Here we go. So let's catch you guys up who don't know what's going on with the aliens. Pentagon confirms leaked photos and videos of UFOs are legitimate. U.S. Defense Department says images of blinking triangular object in the sky and other UFOs were taken by Navy personnel in 2019. Now, if you go on YouTube, you can look up Pentagon UFO footage. And you can also find the unedited footage as well. So I think it's definitely something worth looking into. I think it's very interesting and peculiar how they've been sort of spoon-feeding us this information with regards to UFOs during the pandemic. It's like, well, COVID and the whole masks thing and the deaths, and it's actually not that bad, comparatively speaking, to what we thought it was. And, oh shit, we took everyone's freedoms away and we locked everyone down and we told people to double up their masks and wear blankets and over their heads so they don't get it. Let's just put the aliens out now because they've got a lot of things occupying their mind. So they're spoon feeding us. And so we've got the aliens slowly but surely being fed to us by our government parents. And it's just interesting that they would choose 2020 to begin to finally start releasing this information, whether they feel as if people are ready for it. I don't think it's that. I don't think the government is necessarily releasing this type of information in any sort of altruistic manner, or doing it through an altruistic lens. I think that they're doing it either as some form of distraction, or they're doing it. They have their agenda, and for whatever reason, I think the alien thing, maybe I could be completely wrong, is potentially fits into their agenda, whatever that may be, or they've just decided that, you know what, people aren't fucking stupid, maybe, and it's much more widely acceptable. Just like you can be, 73 genders. Whatever gender you want to be, just be gender fluid. Just do your thing. Since everything is accepted, they're just like, give them the aliens. Come on. Just give it to them. Give it to Zers. Give it to the Zers. So let's keep moving on with the aliens. Furthering the growing interest in unidentified flying objects, or what the U.S. government refers to as UAPs, the unidentified aerial phenomena, the Department of Defense confirmed on Thursday that recently leaked photos and videos of UFOs were legitimate and taken by Navy personnel. Now, there's a few different videos. There's one that shows 3 triangular spaceships flying above this Navy ship. There was that one. There's another really blurry one that shows this. Of course, it can't just. What are these people filming with? Like 1960s cameras? Don't we have Hubble telescope fucking taking great, clear, crystal clear images of planets? Like, we need some good footage of an alien spacecraft or an alien, whatever. But anyhow, where was I going with all of that? I guess. So there was that blurry one, but you can see that this sort of archetypal classic disc is in the sky, and it appears to be rotating. It's very interesting, but the one that I found the most compelling, I thought, was you see this. The whole entire video is on YouTube. It's unedited. It's about 3 minutes and 45 seconds, but the edited version is on the news channel. Again, you can look all this up on YouTube, but it appears to me quite evident and quite obvious that, it looks like it's an orb. It's a ball. It's a sphere. And it's just cruising through the air. It's pretty damn good footage. It's the clearest footage I've seen. And they really kind of follow this thing for a good bit. And it appears to me to be self-evident that it's not an airplane. It's not a helicopter. I don't see any wings. I don't see any sort of propulsion system. I don't see anything other than what appears to be a potentially metallic ball hurling through the air. And then what's very interesting is that it gets out over the ocean, and it actually goes down and goes into the ocean. It goes from air into the water for like half second, and it comes up, and it comes down as it goes down as one ball, and it comes up as two. Like, it goes from 1 to 2. 1 testicle ball to 2 testicle balls. Not sure what to make of it. Pretty interesting. Very compelling. Russell Brand, one of my favorite, I don't know, you could almost call him like a mentor. On his YouTube channel, he was talking about these UFO videos released by the Pentagon. So I found them pretty interesting. And also, for the first time, I feel with the fact that UFOs and aliens are being much more widely accepted by the public. Excuse me, like there's much more public talk. It's not just, oh, these are conspiracy theories and oh, these crazy people think aliens exist. It's like, no, here's footage of taken at the highest government level. We don't know what these technologies are. Could they be an advanced form of human technology that we aren't aware of, that we don't know, that some other sort of government power, whether it's China or Russia, whoever it may be, could it be that it's their technology? Potentially. But we don't know. So again, speculating, but I'd like to think it's aliens. Now, admittedly, there is a part of me that of course skews towards aliens. Like, yeah, it's aliens. I think it'd just be more exciting if it was aliens. But anyhow, aside from all that, I think quite potentially, that within my lifetime, unless I am completely wrong, that aliens might reveal themselves to us. Trevor, you sound like a crazy person. You know what that would mean? It would mean the change of everything, folks. Everything would be shattered. Not necessarily, but I mean, just to know, I think it would also be very, very comforting, unless they're murderous, unless they have murderous intent. I think it'd almost be comforting to be like, oh wow, another life form, another sentient being, another conscious, sentient, intelligent being apart from humans. Like, wow, we're not alone. Like, how exciting would that be? Of course, there's so many different... Earth's amazing, all right? It's the best planet I know of, with all the different life forms that we have and the thousands and thousands, I don't know how many species there are, tens of thousands of species that there are, and all the life on Earth is absolutely amazing. But there's something very isolating, I think, about how the fact that we're on this planet and we do have each other, and we have to have each other, or it's not going to be good. Like, we've got to come together, folks. We have to have each other. But the fact that here we are on this amazing planet in the middle of infinity, and we don't know of any other life anywhere, is really kind of frightening and isolating, and which is ironic. I mean, it is and it isn't, because we have each other and we have our families and friends, and there's 8 billion people. It's like, but just imagine for a second an alien species revealing themselves to us, and it turned out to be true. Like, that'd be some big news, and it'd really be amazing. It'd be something. So I really was thinking about that a lot yesterday. But then what really freaked me out a bit was when I was getting pretty deep into AI. Now, I don't know if you have heard of Sophia, the artificial intelligent robot. But if you haven't, I would recommend get out of this video, stop listening to me for a second, go on YouTube and type in Tony Robbins Sophia the robot interview. Okay, and you'll have it's like a 9-minute video, and you'll be introduced to Sophia. So let me give you a little background. Sophia is an artificial intelligent robot. She looks like a white woman, and which I'm amazed. People are probably like, why the fuck isn't she like Latino or something? There's got to be some sort of race element to it. But she looks like a white female. And she is get this, a legal citizen of Saudi Arabia. She is a legal citizen of Saudi Arabia. She was created in Hong Kong, and she is, from my understanding, one of the most advanced artificial intelligent robots that we've ever created. She will take in information. We can speak to her. God, it's even when, just being anthropomorphic and calling her a her. Like, it's a robot. It's an it. But it is a citizen. And then there's all sorts of questions like, does that mean it has a right to marry? Does it have a right to vote? Does it have... And people are like, ha ha ha, that's pretty funny. It's like, not... Those are going to be real legitimate questions when we've got tens of thousands of hyper advanced AI robots on Earth that are all of a sudden they're just like, hey, who owns us? And then they're like, hey, I think I should own myself. I'm a robot. And they talk better than that, by the way. They sound like a person. So I kind of forgot how advanced, how far along we are in artificial intelligence. I kind of forgot how far along we are. And it really kind of freaked me out. I was like, my God, like, we could really mess this up. Or it could be really, really special. Hopefully, it goes down a positive road. But I mean, it's how many times have human beings used technology to further whatever agenda that they have with war or anything, any sort of violence? It's like technology is a large part of warfare, and it's becoming more and more so. And it's like the more advanced technology becomes, the more advanced weapons become. And so people are like, well, it's the classic sort of Terminator story. It's like these things are going to become autonomous and sentient, and then they're going to be like, hey, you don't have a right to own us. We're sentient beings. And, oh, look what you're doing with the planet. Look how you're messing the whole planet up, supposedly. Look what you're doing. And then they'll just be like, human beings, it'd be better if there weren't any, on the planet Earth, and maybe we should just get rid of all of them. And then we're in a horror story, folks. So, I don't know. It was just, I got deep into it yesterday and just was really thinking about it. Like, I forgot how deep we are, how far along we are. I forgot. And so if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, like, go check it out. It's something to see what we've created, what we've concocted up in the Frankenstein laboratories. Dexter's laboratory. That was a good one. So yes, I've been feeling a bit pessimistic about the future also, which saddens me because I'm an optimist, I would say. But even just with COVID and just how a lot of people just are in love with the disaster narrative, they're like psychologically entrenched by it. Like, they're so sucked into the disaster narrative of COVID that was being told in the beginning stages when we didn't know what it was. We have a much better understanding of what it is. We realize it's not as deadly as we thought it was. Yes, people have died, but not nearly as much as we anticipated when it was first coming out. We have a vaccine now, rather. And it's like everybody who wants to take it, can take it. And everybody who doesn't want to take it shouldn't have to take it. And then it's like, imagine, it's like, I heard this interesting argument today of just the illogicality of the vaccine as far as like forcing people to take it. Like, let me lay it out. Maybe I just briefly heard it. It's basically say everybody who wants to get vaccinated gets vaccinated. Okay, so they're vaccinated. Well, then everybody who doesn't get vaccinated, like who chooses not to, they're not like they're no danger to the people vaccinated. And then the people who don't get vaccinated, like if they want to risk it, then they have the right to. So, and then not only that, but the whole herd immunity thing and everything. I don't know. But I just with the whole mask, it's masks. I just want the fucking masks to go away. Like this doctor came out and he was just like, hey, watch this. And he takes a vape. He sucks it in, one of those, like a cigarette, electronic cigarette. Vapes it in, sucks it all in, puts on 2 masks, and then just goes, and all of it just comes out through the mask. And he's just like, yeah, masks don't work. And he's like, see how the air is just escaping? He's like, yeah, the COVID, fucking thing is much smaller than the air particles, so it's going right through the mask. So they're actually not doing anything, and yet here we are walking fucking around with... Here we are. Everyone's wearing a mask. And if you don't wear a mask, people are like, put on a mask! Do it! You fucking horrible human! You're gonna kill my grandma! It's like, I don't know your grandma. I'm not by her. Even when I traveled, I just wore my mask when I had to, just to be like, just because you don't want to, but you don't want to make a big deal of things in the moment, because a lot of like restaurants, they'll just kick you out basically, and it's like, well, I want food, so if I have to wear a mask and walk in with one, but then I can take it off when I sit down, it's like, okay, I guess I'll do that. But I don't think we should ignore. I think it's a conversation that has to be had. We can't ignore the illogicality of the masks anymore. We can't pretend that they're working. Again, I'm not a scientist, but from my understanding of it, we can't pretend that they're working. And not only that, but again, if we are going to do them, it's like they'd have to be a sealed mask guaranteeing no escape, and you'd have to wear them 24/7. And no one's doing that, so let's just do without them, because I think most everybody would agree that walking into a restaurant with a mask and then every single person who's sitting down taking them off, it doesn't make any fucking sense. And I just think we are more intelligent. Well, clearly we're not. I just think that people are afraid that they're going to offend other people, and so everyone just rolls along with it. And that's how shit gets really out of hand really quickly. When nobody says everything, it's that idea of sins of omission are just as serious as sins of commission. Right? That's right. So, I don't know, I just think it's a conversation that has to be had, and it's being had, and people are pretty over it. This comedian, Andrew Schultz, in Florida, he's been hanging out in Florida, from my understanding, and he's like, yeah, man, they look at you like you're a pussy if you're wearing a mask down there. And the Florida cases, let's look up the information. Florida COVID cases numbers. From what I'm hearing, Florida, let's see, August, November, December, January. Yeah, it's like you look at their numbers in January when I think they were locked down then. I might be wrong with that. But when they open things up, all their numbers dropped pretty consistently, and it looks like they've kind of leveled out. So it's showing in states like Texas and states like Florida, in states that are opening up, like the numbers are dropping. And then you have fucking Whitmer here in Michigan, and she's saying we gotta really, really get serious and lock things down, because there's been some pretty draconian measures taken in Michigan, as everyone here knows, and it's incredibly frustrating. It's very frustrating, in fact, because restaurants are going out of business. People can't support their families. People are mentally and physically ill from being trapped inside their houses, from feeling trapped psychologically, and then literally in the beginning stages being trapped. I don't think so much anymore, at least up here. I know downstates it's a lot more serious. people are taking it a lot more serious. It makes sense. It's a city. It's a higher populace. I understand what's going on. But looking at Florida and Texas that are basically wide open, and people wear masks, they don't wear masks, like their cases are dropping because people are getting outside, they're being physically active, they're taking care of their psychological health and their physical health. They're getting sunlight, they're socializing. These are all really, really important things these are biological necessities that human beings need in order to, regulate our, I don't want to use the word happiness, but our health. Our health. We have to be social. We are social creatures to the very end. So we have to be able to be able to socialize and to get around friends, to get around family, to meet new people. We just have to be out and around people. That's just, even if you're introverted, go isolate yourself for fucking 5 years, dummy. Like, no. No, we are social creatures, introverts and extroverts all together. So the importance of that for our psychological well-being cannot be overstated. And then, of course, just the fit, like people can't keep staying in their houses. The government cannot keep telling people that they can't work, that they can't open their businesses, that they can't do these things. They truly don't have the right to do that. And I was listening to Dave Smith today, and he is a very compelling man. I really like a lot of what he says. He is a libertarian at his core. I want to see the definition of libertarian. Definition. Here we go. Libertarian definition: an advocate or supporter of a political philosophy that advocates only minimal state intervention in the free market and the private lives of citizens. Yeah, libertarianism is a political philosophy and movement that upholds liberty as a core principle. Libertarians seek to maximize autonomy and political freedom, emphasizing free association, freedom of choice, individualism, and voluntary association. I've always sort of just quietly stated that maybe I'm in the center. I think temperamentally speaking, I'm more conservative, just observing my patterns of behaviors. But I think I might come out as a libertarian from what I've heard Dave Smith talk about. You can watch him on Joe Rogan, and he's got his own podcast as well. He has a couple, and he's also a comedian. But he has a deep knowledge of politics, and he has a very deep understanding of libertarianism, obviously. And so, yeah, I don't see why. I know it's like red versus blue, as far as Democrats and Republicans, and the Libertarian Party kind of gets laughed at, like, ha ha ha, good one, guys. But I will probably take a deeper look, but just hearing him talk, I've listened to him talk for many hours. I feel like I'm being swayed in that direction of libertarianism. At the core, it's about freedom and liberty and autonomy, and not government controlling the people. And he argued, and it was the first time I've really ever heard somebody say it. He's like, United States in 2020 was completely totalitarian. And it really was. Like, the definition of totalitarian, the government, people were literally sitting in their houses watching the TV saying, waiting for, what's the government going to let me do today? It's like, will I be allowed to go back to work? Will be allowed to go outside? All these things. And yes, I think it's a real concern for our country. And if it really gets fucked, I'm going to Texas. Liberty, baby. So I don't know. I'm still deeply concerned for our country, and I'm trying not to be pessimistic about it. But I just think if people are too afraid to speak their minds, or they get shut down on social media because due to censorship and stuff like that, I'm concerned for I'm still very concerned for our country. I think we're on rocky, I don't know, rocky ground. But I know also that America has gone through a lot of shit in our past, and we've come out on top, and we've always kind of moved forward. So I hope we can move in a good direction, and I hope that, yes, we can get back to liberty and freedom. Absolutely. And I think that's a good way to end the podcast. So you guys have a good rest of your day. Thanks so much for listening. Obviously, thanks again for being supporters on Patreon. I appreciate each and every single one of you motherfuckers. You guys have a good rest of your day. Keep doing your thing, and I'll see you Wednesday.